Alright guys, as this video is aptly named, this is why I will never buy a Ford product again. But a little brief story is my whole family buys Fords. We've owned a Mustang, two Explorer Sports, an Explorer, an F-150, a 350, a Focus, and an Escape. We have all been lifelong Ford customers. Oh, and two Fusions. We've been lifelong Ford customers. And I've had recently purchased a 2015 Ford Fusion with about 40,000 miles on it. And within 2 weeks of me getting my Fusion, I got a flat tire. And I go to the trunk, I'm going to change it up to the spare, no big deal. They do not include a nut wrench with the jack. So I was unable to change my tire. So I call Greenway, which is where I bought it from, Greenway Ford, and I asked them what I should do. And they asked me if I could tow it to them. And I told them that I don't have any money, I'm a college student, I live paycheck to paycheck, I barely eat, like, I can't afford to pay for the towing. So that they said they would pay for the towing at their expense, and then they would change my tire for me. Well, they said they would repair my tire for me. So I get to Greenway, and when I get there, they take my car to the back. They refuse to pay for the towing, and there was a little debate about who has to pay for the towing, even though they agreed to pay for the towing. And at one point, the towing driver said, "I have to get going. If you don't pay for the towing, I'm going to impound your car." Now, many of you know that I rely on my car for work. If I don't have a car, I can't work. So, I was forced to pay the towing out of my credit, which is going to bounce my bank account. And then this proceeded into a 4-hour-long, we're going to say, conversation with the Greenway dealership. And they told me there's absolutely nothing they could do, that they would not pay for the towing, yada, 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 X, Y, and Z. So after 4 hours going back and forth, I finally get extremely upset. And I'm getting emotional right now. Like, I'm shaking, I'm angry, I'm tearing up. I can't afford to pay this bill. And they just don't care. Eventually, I asked to speak to the person in charge. So they put me with the quote-unquote person in charge. And he proceeds to tell me the same thing, that there's no way they can cover my bill, despite the fact that I've only had the car for 2 weeks, like the first payment's not even due for another 30 days. After that, we proceeded to argue more, and then finally somebody above him came, who apparently was never there, because I asked to speak with the person in charge. And he came in, and he took my bill, and he told me he would send me a check that would appear in my mail in 5 to 10 business days. Now, I had already balanced my bank account paying for the towing, and now I have to wait for the money to come back for 5 to 10 business days, which is time that I don't have. The entire time, through the entire procedure, about 2 hours into the negotiations or talks or fight or whatever you want to call it, I was just like, all right, I'll leave, just give me corporate's phone number. And they refused to give me corporate's number. They said, I'll give you the number of my director. And I'm like, I don't want the number of your director, I want the number of corporate. And they refused to give me corporate's number, and they treated me like I was a child the entire time, because I'm a college student. They think I'm a college student, so they can just take advantage of me. Like, if an adult, and by an adult I mean somebody over the age of 40, came in and had the same problems I did, I do not see any way they have this issue that I had, and it lasted that long. Like, all in all, it was like 7 hours between the time that I actually got the flat tire to I could actually drive off the parking lot. All their techs went home, so I had to go to Tire Kingdom to get my tire replaced. And in the process of replacing my tire, they pull off my old tire, which has massive amounts of rubber shavings on the inside, meaning that the tire is rotting. They gave me a tire that was rotting when I bought my car, because the car is only 2 weeks old. And then I call corporate. I find the number on Google. I call corporate. I talk to a rep. And the rep says there's pretty much nothing they can do for me, despite my history of buying cars from Ford, despite my family's history of buying cars from Ford, despite the fact that we are lifelong customers of Ford. So, she's like, I can give you a P.O. box that you can mail a complaint to. And I said, you don't have an email address or a phone number or anybody else I can get in contact with? And they said no. And after me prodding for about 15 minutes on the phone, they're like, all right, I'll forward this to the HR department, which is all I wanted to do to begin with. And now they're giving it to me because I had to cause a scene. So this was Friday, and then they said they would call me on Monday after they reviewed my case. So the HR person calls me and talks to me and pretty much says, there's nothing they can do. The case will get further pushed to Ford Corporation, but in the meantime, I need to sit on my hands and do nothing. Now, I've been forced to pay for... Oh, yeah. On the right-hand side, the tire. I got a second flat tire 2 days after the first flat tire. That one completely blew up. So when I talked to the HR person, which is different from Friday, I told them about this too, and I had to buy another tire. And they pretty much told me there's nothing I can do. And I told them that I was fearful to drive my brand new car because all my tires seemed to be just exploding. And she pretty much said that they can just move it on up the food chain. And I'm like, is there a timetable? Are they going to contact me? What's going to happen? And they refused to give me a timetable. They said they might not even contact me. They would only need to contact me if they had further details to give me, which means they're going to throw it under the rug. And for any young or new car buyer, I would avoid Ford completely. The only way to contact the HR department is through a PO box. They don't return your phone calls. They treat you like you're expendable and your children. They just want to push a car, which I understand it's a business. Your job is to push cars, but I personally have owned 3 Fords. Me personally, I'm only 24. I've owned 3 Fords that I bought from dealerships. And my family, again, has owned countless Fords. And this is the absolute worst customer experience I've ever had in my entire life. Any business, any industry. And all I want is for people to understand and know how Ford conducts their business. Because if a problem arises that's not your fault, they will not accept responsibility, nor will they give you any assistance whatsoever. So this video is just a warning to all new buyers that you should avoid Ford company together. When I first introduced the problem with Greenway Ford, which is located on the East Colonial in Orlando, Florida, I just thought that I encountered a problem with a shitty dealership, and I assumed, wrongly so, that if I would call corporate, they could help me out with my situation. Corporate has been completely unreliable and refused to help with anything that I've asked for. They refused to help replace the tires. They refused to pay for the towing until 5 to 10 business days later. They refused to even listen to me. I keep trying to get in contact with someone above the HR lady, and they keep just saying you have to send a mail to the PO box. And I asked if they would reply to me, and they said, I don't know, maybe. So when you're signing up for Ford, this is the customer service that you're signing up for. So I don't want this to take excessively long, and I don't want to rant. I don't want you to seem like I'm complaining. I just want new car buyers to understand what you're buying into when you buy a Ford. I promptly told the lady that despite me being a lifelong Ford buyer, I intend to go in and trade my car in tomorrow and buy a car from a real company. And I actually intend on doing that because if they're going to sell people bad vehicles or vehicles with issues and not accept responsibility, it's not like I put 100,000 miles on the car. The car was bought 2 weeks ago, and I'm a college student. I don't go far. So, just to end this video, like, new car buyers, beware. Old car buyers, beware. Ford is not the same company it was 20 years ago. They have different priorities aligned, and all they want to do is push cars. They don't care about the people that they're serving. They're not there to create a better car for a better society. They're there for their bottom line, which is a business. But I'm hoping this customer service catches up on them, and they really, really start to rethink how they treat people. Because I used to help run a small business, and the reason we stayed in business is because of the way we treated our people. We treated them with respect. We helped them with problems. If there was something that we did wrong, we accepted responsibility and liability, and we helped replace what we did. And Ford won't. So Buyers beware.